Yo, my name is Daedric Days, and today I will be not forgetting to do my intro for Arc Raiders. 'Cause that's exactly what I did last time. So last time I made a tips and tricks video, and then I was talking about it with someone in Discord, and I was saying some other stuff I know, and they were like, "Oh, was this also in your video?" And I was like, "Oh, it wasn't." And they said, "Oh, are you gonna do more Arc Raiders?" And I was like, "Well, actually, I might. I don't know." So I ended up doing more Arc Raiders. I'm going to be going over a few things, more tips, more just kind of my opinion on some ways to run that might benefit you if you're trying to focus on everything. Try to break up what you're doing a little bit more. So, for starters, I'm going to be talking about free loadouts. Uh, Free loadouts will typically come with four weapons. You have Stitcher, Rattler, Kettle, and Pharaoh. Each one of these is good for a different reason, some better than others. Kettle and Rattler are pretty generic, and I would personally prefer Kettle over Rattler. Stitcher is really good for PvP. Pharaoh is good for PvP if you can hit your shots, but it is way better for Arc. For all the snitches, the hornets, the wasp, uh, the little roly polies on the ground. I forget what they're called. Pharaoh is really, really good for PvP. I recommend you can always build one if you don't have it. They're really not hard to get. Metal and rubber. Uh, but essentially, when you're starting out, these are going to be your four main guns. If you're doing PvP, I would recommend a Kettle and Stitcher or a Pharaoh and Stitcher. Stitcher is really, really good, especially if you can get a mag for it. You can go buy one, you can go make one. A mag for the Stitcher is your way to go. For Pharaoh, don't put any attachments on it unless it is a stock. That is the only thing that will count for it to improve it. One of the really big things about these guns is upgrading them. So you have like right down here, this is a tier 1 Stitcher, tier 2 Rattler, tier 4 Kettle. The more you upgrade it, the better, or the less I should say, their kind of cons are. Because you got the pros and cons of each weapon. Reduce reload time. That's like you're bolting in between each shot. So that will really, really help you just get more damage out, especially on arc, or mainly on the arc, mainly on the little flying guys. Kettle, reload speed. Kettle has the longest reload time out of all four of these. That reload speed is really, really big. Rattler, I believe it gets quite a few good things, right? Magazine size, I believe, goes up. Go to upgrade. So yeah, magazine size. It is already at +4. Another +4. This stuff you can make from a tier 2 refiner, I believe. And I'll be going over a bit about the workshop stuff as well. But basically, for the most part, just kind of keep in mind Kettle and Rattler are general use. Pharaoh, I would say, is more PvP or PvE. Stitcher's PvP. Now, when you go to do a custom loadout, and typically I'll be running a looting, but for custom loadouts, really plan what you're gonna do. You should always have one PvP gun and one PvE gun. So this would be for Arc. This would be for Raiders. Or I would do something like that. That is my personal way to do it. It is not an absolute way. I prefer to have two different weapons for two different scenarios. Of course, the more ground you can cover, like Anvil or Pharaoh, they can be used for PvP if you can hit your shots. I'm not that good. Looting. Looting Mark II gives you an extra safe pocket. That is what you want to use your Raider Hatch key for. Do not just run in with a Raider Hatch key if you are using just a regular tier 1. Do at least a tier 2, because anything you get, you should have at least one blueprint here and one, what do you call that? Preferably one blueprint, one like quest item, or maybe double quest items. But it should be important enough that you can swap your Raider Hatch key off, and you would be willing to lose the Raider Hatch key over the real valuable items. You don't want to go in with a looting Mark 1. You get multiple good items, but you'll have to pick between them. That is my advice. That is not an absolute, but preferably, oh, let me get rid of it, whatever. Uh, Preferably do a looting Mark 2 if you're going to have a Raider Hatch key on you. Don't waste them. Just kind of be a bit more choosy when you use them. They shouldn't be too hard to build, too difficult. I know if you get the upgraded perk right here, Traveling Tinker, you can craft them in the field, but I would say just use them when, like, they're not hard to build. You can get that pretty easy. But just use them when you have like a Mark II or a Mark III. It'll just be more worthwhile. Oh, super important. Quick use items. If you are not confident in your ability to fight or your ability to come back alive, do not max out on quick use items. Carry 2 or 3 shield recharger and just like a stack of bandages. Don't waste your resources on getting like uh, uncommon and rare level healing. Just bandages. If you don't have shield rechargers, a really good thing you can do, arc power cells. They don't heal nearly as much. I think they heal half as much as the shield recharger, but they're so easy to get just from killing other smaller arc out in the field. You can use those to turn into a shield recharger, but if you're on a budget, they work. Let's see. I made notes so I didn't forget everything like I did in my last video. Oh, safe pocket. You should never have an instance where you have to pick a blueprint over a quest item. Blueprints are always what you want to pick. So, in terms of materials, your crafting items, you should really only need 2 stacks. I'm, of course, importing because I have a problem. You should only need 2 stacks. Chemicals, fabric, that'll be your bandages. I mainly keep these for just a spare gun or two and mainly ammo, actually. I blow through metal parts on ammo, but you should really only need like 2 stacks of each, and that'll be fine. Very, very kind of interesting thing right here. The value of each one of these, if they're full, metal is the most, plastic is the second boost. If you have to choose, they all weigh 5 pounds when they are a max deck. Go for the metal. That'll, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it really, really, really quickly adds up. Something I started doing, and I noticed my money improving quite a bit faster than I thought it would. I don't know if it's on this page. Miscellaneous, actually, yeah. Assorted Seeds. Now, I didn't realize this, but apparently a lot of people don't know this. You can get assorted seeds through recycling nature items. I thought more people knew that. Apparently they don't. And assorted seeds are actually really, really good, and a lot of people sleep on them. because you can buy a lot of these items that'll be used for a quest or they will be used for upgrades. Batteries are something you always need. Magnets are really good. Springs really good. Simple gun parts to upgrade your weapons. A lot of these are really, really helpful. Don't be afraid to make a run to like the olive grove on what is it, Blue Gate? Just make a run, grab everything you can, and then dip, and then just now you got some extra stuff to work with. Let's see. Oh, for Celeste, when you buy items, don't focus on the epics. If you do not need them, if you don't have the blueprints for these items, if you're not constantly running and fighting in high level situations, you're not going to need these. There's a lot of other weaker weapons that are just as good. Like these are all basic raid weapons, equivalent of raid weapons. They are from the matriarch. Just focus on medium gun parts, batteries, simple gun parts, spring. I use magnets for looting Mark II. Duct tape is always good for getting some attachments. Just focus on what you need now instead of like worrying about all these just because these are like epic. That doesn't mean you're gonna need them. If you can't use them, you're not going to need them. Let's see. Ooh, the different kinds of runs that you can do in this game, or in the way that I categorize them. You will have a scrap run, which is for your basic crafting materials. You will have a bank run, which will be for quest items or for other important items, processors, sensors, uh, gun parts, whatever it may be. The bank items are items you want to throw in your stash because you know you're gonna use them. And then you have your coin runs. Your coin runs are gonna focus mainly on trinket items. If it has this little diamond, be ready to sell it. Now, some of these trinket items you will need for scrappy. There is a dog collar, the cat beds, and the pillows. You need one cat bed, one dog collar, and three pillows, and that'll take you to the max scrappy level. All these other ones you can sell, but a really nifty thing that a lot of people don't know, if you go to Raider, those items you have, they will appear around your room. And so there's like the snow globe that'll appear. There's the edition little trinket that's like the epic one. I don't care for all these room decorations, I'm gonna be honest, because I don't get to pick where they're organized or sent to. They just randomly appear. So I sell them. I get rid of them. Right? Like no real reason unless I'm pretty sure I need this for a quest later down the line. That's the only reason I'm holding on to it. But you can sell these, or you can keep one in your stash and it'll appear in your room. It's just however you want to do it. There's that pot. If you want to get trinkets, if you're doing a scrap run, I mean a coin run, Pale Apartments, Ruby Residence, and then oh no, I'm thinking of what is it? Period City. Yeah, commercial. Commercial is gonna be your really big ticket items on where you're gonna get a lot of trinkets. And for the last part, which is probably going to be the most important part of the video, is your workshop. This is mainly for newer players right here. Workshops, getting them to tier 2 is not super difficult. Getting them to tier 3 will take a lot more. Most tier 3s will require you to kill a much stronger arc, a Bastion, a Bombardier, Rocketeer. They're gonna require you to kill them and get the epic item from them. The exception being the Gunsmith. The Gunsmith is the easiest to get to. It's also one of the most important, and I recommend you getting it to 3 before anything else. Uh, really, really good thing, right? Deadlines. Deadlines are what you want to use for Bombardiers and the what are they called? The Bastions. Wolfpack round. I think you get 3 or 4, because I may have found one of these. You get these from Quest. Use these to take down the flying arc enemies. The Rocketeer, the what's the other one? The Rocketeer, and I've already forgotten what the other one was. But if it's a flying arc, Wolfpack rounds are good for them. Uh, you can't buy Wolfpack rounds, but these deadline mines, you can buy one every day,
Hey,
and you don't necessarily only need deadlines to go fight Arc. Uh, Jolt mines, deadlines, secret grenades, uh, trailblazers. Just stock up on a bunch and then just go to town on one of the big guys, one of the bastions of the bombardiers. Save your wolf pack rounds for the flying enemies because these are much easier to use on your ground level enemies. For the most part, I think that is it for this video. Didn't forget nothing. I don't want to have a repeat of my last video where I kept forgetting everything and then I would remember at the very last second. Yeah, no. I think that is it. Alrighty. Good luck with your raids, raiders. Goodbye, all you beautiful people.